Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already been live, we're live, and as you guys can tell by channel thumbnail, today we're working on many projects and I'm relative fighting C++. That stream I did work on some game logic, and then I was done with my phase one of my board map. So I started working on a few mini projects. I thought it'd be a good idea to like have a separate stream for mini projects. So I'm gonna be working on this. So I'm gonna be working on the mini projects this week. Let's go to my gameplay screen. There we go. Okay, yo, how are you doing? So I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. Let me just go ahead and check if everything is going good here. Okay, perfect. I guess let's say something like, whoops. And guys, I'm still not getting used to like this new keyboard because I'm not used to using a small keyboard. That's it. Let's say something like, let's say, live exclamation. Guys, ignore these slight noises. People are like, blowing grass, I think, outside. That's it. I think blowing the leaves using a leaf blower. Okay, that's let's go. Welcome. Okay, welcome everyone to the stream. Today's mission, Project One, the talking actor. I haven't worked much, but I had time to like create a new chat and like tell us about what I'm going to be working on this screen. That said, here's what you're building: a custom C++ actor that wakes up, introduces itself, and reports its own data via logs on begin play. I see. Requirements: create a new C++ actor class, give it at least 3 U property variables, pick your own name/types, create at least 1 U function, log everything in log everything using uelog on begin play, place it in the scene, and make it speak through the log's rules. No googling, no copy pasting, write every line yourself. Okay, let me ask you a quick little question. Let's say something like, should I do this in a new project, like a blank UE5 project question mark? Okay, so I know that I'm going to be needing 3 variables, which basically means 3 U properties because I want to expose those variables to my Unreal Engine and 1 Unreal Engine function. Yes, create a blank project. Okay, I guess let's go ahead and open Unreal Engine. Join the lab, let's go. Okay, let's see. Let me just check if everything is going good. And guys, whatchamacallit? The reason I'm not actually vertically streaming is because I want to see if it kind of improves my stream quality type stuff. That makes any sense? Let's get this here because I realized I do like multi-stream or stream in 5 different places at the same time, so that might cause some stream lag. I want to see if it increases my camera quality or anything. That's it. Let's go ahead and create a blank project real quick. It's going to be a C++, and let's name it something like mini project. I'm going to go with something like mini project, and then let's create. While it's creating, I might actually eat a cucumber because I'm kind of starving, I guess. Okay, that's it. Let's go all the way down here. Okay, it's creating a project. I am kind of excited for this because now that I'm finally following a roadmap and not just going blindly, I'm trying to understand way more. Okay, this is the only tedious part where it takes like really long for the the project to actually compile. Okay, that's it. While it's compiling, I'm gonna go ahead and get Claude up here and say something like, okay, exclamation. So, what output am I expecting? Question mark. Okay, I mean, I don't understand it, but I want to actually kind of, be a bit more clear with this. Expected output in the output log when you hit play in Unreal Engine 5, you should see something like this. Log temp warning, hello, my name is Sensei is actor. Log temp warning, health is 100. Oh, I see. Log temp warning, my speed is 200.5. Is that like 5 million? Okay, log temp warning. So our verbosity is going to be a warning text. Okay, I'm active, true, and log temp warning. Since his actor is now awake and ready, I see. So it's not anything, let's say, fancy. It's basically just displaying our players' stats on our output log. Okay, well, I guess let's go ahead and wait for this to load. Okay, perfect. Now, once this loads, I'm going to go ahead and open my Unreal Engine. And well, since I'm streaming only horizontally today, I'm going to be using the entire portrait mode. Actually, entire landscape mode rather than a portrait mode. With that said, let's go to something like File. Let's go to New Level. I'm going to go ahead and create a basic project where I'm going to go ahead and let's say, go to something like Content. Right click, create a new folder called Maps. Okay, because I realized that you gotta be very organized when doing this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control S to save the code. Okay, and inside my maps, I'm gonna go ahead and call this something like mini project. Whoops, no space. Let's go with something like mini project one map. Let's go with something like mini project one map. And then I'm gonna go ahead and save because I'm gonna be having three separate mini projects that I'm supposed to do. And that's it. I'm gonna go to tools. I'm gonna go to something like new class, and let's go ahead and create an actor class because I'm gonna be using an actor class technically. And guys, again, ignore the echoing. Like my room is so empty from the back that it's literally like making a voice echo. But I'm gonna start filling the room. If you guys could actually see that, my hands are pretty short to reach that. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and name this something like Sensei Sensei. Okay, I don't think I can go with the hyphens. I'll go with something like Seba. Okay, because in case you guys don't know what Sensei slash ChatGPT slash Claude slash Gemini's names are, it's actually kind of Sarah. I don't know why I like that name. That's it. Let's go ahead and add the code to the project. Okay, let's wait for it to add. Okay, let's see. Once it's done, I'm honestly feeling that I might actually, let's see. I'm going to create three variables. One is going to be for speed. I'm assuming one is going to be for name, and one is going to be for is awake or something like that. That's let's see. So the code is compiling. Let's go ahead and exit my antivirus. I don't know why did it just show up here. And then I'm going to go to Unreal Engine. Let's go ahead and reload all. Once I'm done reloading all, I'm going to go ahead and read the instructions again, which is kept in my other window, because yeah, I do have two windows for this. Okay, so when you hit play in Unreal Engine 5, you should see something like this. Logtime warning, hello, my name is Sensei's actor. I don't think I need a string variable for that, but I'm going to go ahead and exit my Unreal Engine configurations and go to my header files. That said, I'll need a health variable, I'll need a speed variable, and I'll need a active variable. I want all those three variables to be exposed to my Unreal Engine. So let's say under my protected data member, I'm gonna go ahead and publicize everything. And under this, let's say I'm gonna go ahead and add a comment with, let's say something like 3 asterisks, because I've seen someone do this. I think when I went to like the third person project, I've seen them use this formatting or this commenting convention. Is that what you call it? That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and name it something like, what variable should this be? Let's go with something like health variable. HEALTHVARIABLE. There we go. Okay, so now for my health variable, what is something that I want to do? Firstly, I want to go ahead and create a U property. Let's go with the U property, where I want to be able to edit my health variable. Actually, it's not really necessary to edit it, but I'll go with something like edit anywhere. I want to be able to edit it on my editor or in my blueprints. If I didn't want to edit in my blueprints, I would go with something like blueprint read only, but I won't do that. Lastly, I'm going to go with a category that is going to be equal to, let's go with something like health, HEALTH. Should I go with something like stats? Because health, speed, and active, I might go with stats. There we go. Okay, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and create a floating point variable called something like health, HEALTH, which is going to be equal to, I'm going to go with something like 100. Point F, because it's a floating point variable. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and require a speed variable as well. So I might just copy this part because everything is going to be, everything is basically going to be the same here. So this is going to save some time. I'm going to change this to something like speed, SPEED. And this variable is going to be called speed as well. Okay, and then the speed in the other hand is going to be 200.500, 1,000, 50,000, 500,000. Hello, have you tried VLang already? Honestly, I've not tried VLang yet, but I will be actually working on that as soon as the series is over. I might have a mini series for it. That's let's go with something like 200 point. Is this even necessary? 500,000, 50,000, 500,000. I don't really think this is necessary. Like, how does it even make sense? Okay, that's it. I don't know. I know that this was my instructions. Okay, I'm gonna follow the instructions because one thing that I realized after working on my programming course in my college is that whatever your let's say instructor or let's say customer, I think that's what people call a customer, asks, you guys gotta get the exact same project or exact same output. So I'm going to be following that. That's it, Leslie. Let's go with something like check if actor. Let's go with something like actor is active. Okay, let's go with something like check if actor is active. Okay. I might honestly go with something like a variable to check if actor is active. Okay, can you guys say that 3 times fast without actually messing it up? Okay, that's it. Let's go with something like a Boolean variable. And since it's a Boolean check, I won't be needing a U property because Boolean variables are in charge of, let's say, our C++ code. Unlike if you generate variables like health or speed that affects our actual actor or component that we loaded inside of our Unreal's level. So I'm gonna go with something like a Boolean data type, which is going to be represented by a variable called isActive. Okay, let's go with ACTIVE. That is initially, let's say, going to be set to true. I don't know why. Ending with a semicolon. Actually, I do know why, because once my player enters the level or once my game has begun, the player is going to start by being active. Then later something could happen that deactivates him. Okay, why are you not using Visual Studio 2026? Actually, should I actually update it after the stream? Because I've been like wanting to update it for so long, but I'm kind of scared that it's going to be like a whole different setup. I don't think it's going to be that different because I'm really used to the 2022, but I might use 2026. That's a locked in warning. Sensei's actor is now awake. Okay, so these are the basic variables that I'm going to be needing. I might need a function that I want to call. When you hit play, you should see something like this. Windows output log, your actor wakes up on begin play. It introduces itself, it reports its variables, it calls its own function, which also logs something. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to figure out the function part later. That said, I'm going to hit Control S to save the code and now move on to my header file. In my header files, I'm going to go ahead and define everything that I've declared in my C++ file. There isn't really anything that I declare. Everything is defined in here, so I don't really know where this is going. But I'm going to go, let's say, somewhere under my begin play. I might need a function. I finally figured out where to add a function. Let's go with something like introduce introduce functions. So this function is going to be in charge of my actor introducing himself. There, I'm going to go ahead and create a virtual, virtual, void function called something like introduce. Let's go with introduce. With a pair of parentheses, actually, let's go ahead and say that my virtual void introduce function requires 3 parameters: health, speed, and is active. So I'm going to go with something like a floating point of health, HEALTH, and then I'm going to go ahead and require a floating point of speed, and lastly, let's go with a title case, and lastly, I'm going to require a Boolean data type called isActive. Let's go with something like isActive, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Here's the thing, I might write something like override keyword. Okay, so virtual void introduce function, which can be overridden in case I want to create a bunch of other actor classes and inherit it through this class. Even although I haven't learned much about object-oriented programming in Unreal Engine, even though I use it, I don't know where all these even those coming from. That's an introduce. I see. Okay, and then now once I'm done with that, I'm going to go to my C++ file. Let's go ahead and paste something. Actually, from, let's say, I'm going to go with something like virtual void a Sarah, S-A-R-A-H. So from my aSarah's class, I'm going to use a scope resolution operator to, let's say, point towards my introduce function, which now requires 3 parameters. The first parameter is going to be my health variable. The second parameter is going to be my speed variable. And lastly, the third parameter is going to be my Boolean isActive variable. And now here's the thing. Why do I see a bunch of red underlines? Could it be because I need to... let's say I might add these variables in my constructors. So I could potentially go ahead and remove this from here. And remove the values from here as well. And lastly, I'm going to remove this entire check from here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove this at Control S to save the code. Firstly, in my constructor, I'm going to go ahead and paste my check. And then let's say I'm going to go ahead and set my health variable to be equal to 100, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm gonna go with something like my speed variable, speed, to be equal to, let's say, 200.500,000, 50,000, 500,000, ending with a semicolon. I'm gonna go with point F, because it is like a floating point. And then Boolean is active. Introduce function, edit type, edit type, edit type. How are these edit types? Okay, member function declaration override does not override a base class. Okay, so I guess we don't need override here. Well, I guess without the override, I could go ahead and have those data types here, and this with a semicolon, hit Control S to save the code. Now, without having these also, I should be able to use these variables. HEALTH, speed, Boolean is active. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with the pair of curly braces. Okay, do I need a virtual? I honestly I've learned of the override last stream itself. These are correct. Okay, so I require these parameters. I have exactly those parameters here. HEALTH. That's gonna be speed. Okay, and this is going to be Boolean is active. I'm starting to think that this, excuse me guys, I'm starting to think that this might be my editor that's kind of bugging right now. What if I remove and add the comma? Remove and add the comma. Okay, let's hit Control. Let's save the code. I'm gonna do a quick little test to see if it compiles. Even the function is kind of empty from the bottom. Okay, so it says result failed. Now let's go to my Unreal Engine here real quick. Let's hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code. Let's see if it compiles here. I want to see what error do I get. Boolean is active. Illegal reference to non-static member Acera Boolean is active. Boolean is active equals to true. Syntax error, semicolon before identifier override. Is there a semicolon before identifier override, or should I have it after? No, I don't think I really need it. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go ahead and open my Visual Studio, and let's open my practice_umg.sln. There we go. This is the file that I worked on last stream, although this is like a bigger project in general. Okay, let's wait for this to load real quick, because I barely used override and all that. Okay, so let's delete my Unreal Engine configurations, go to my C++ file. In my C++ file, where is it that I defined the function that I declared? I'm positive that I had override functions here. Matter of fact, all my functions were virtual void function which were override. Okay, so I see all the U functions were virtual void override. I see. They're all blueprint callable. Okay, and then let's go all the way down here. Okay, the do dash was an override function as well, right? Do dash was a virtual void function. It was not override. Override were the setup layer. I see. Okay. So I think I see where I kind of messed up. Basically, the few mistakes that I firstly did was that this isn't going to be an override function. The second mistake was I forgot to add a U function to go ahead and expose my function to my Unreal Engine. Where I'm going to go ahead and set my U function to, let's say, be something like blueprint callable, BRINT callable, okay, CALLABLE, and then the second parameter FUNCTION. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a category. Was it a category? Okay, it's going to be something like, I don't know, let's go with stats. There we go. Now for my stats, I have all the stuff. Let's hit Control S to save the code. This is going to be a basic virtual void function where I'm going to go ahead and define it. I go with health, speed, Boolean is active. Hi, thank you for a live code streaming. Honestly, that does sound pretty cool. Okay, that's let's see. So introduce. Let's go ahead. Why is there a whole blue line? You know what? I'm removing the virtual. Okay, this should work. So I have a floating point health variable, a floating point speed variable, and a Boolean of is active variable. Introduce. I think I had a typo, right? Let's copy it. Now if I go here and then paste it. Okay, at this point, I'm positive now it's just my editor because everything else is correct here. Because I do have everything publicized, health speed, and Boolean is active. They all have some sort of data to them. Okay, so next up, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is add something like a UE log. So I'm gonna go with something like UE underscore log. Whoa, how did it? Okay, let's go with something like UE underscore log. Guys, I'm still not used to my small keyboard up here. There we go. That's it. Now inside my UE log, I'm going to be requiring a few parameters. First is going to be my category name, where I'm going to go ahead and set this to be something like log underscore temp. Okay, this is the most basic category because I haven't worked much with different kinds of categories. The third is going to be a verbosity. Verbosity basically means what kind of text do I want to display on my window. Do I want it to be a default, a regular white text? Do I want it to be a yellow warning text? Or do I want it to be a red error text? In this case, I was asked to set it to be a warning text, so I'm going to go with warning. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and require a format string, which is basically, let's say, going to be a text with a parentheses. Honestly, I don't really like the idea of adding a plain text, so I'm going to go ahead and add a f string. My f string is going to go ahead and have a text inside of it. Let's go with something like text. Should I go with something like a printf? I don't want to do something that fancy, so I think this is good for now. Even so, I could go with something like f-string, which uses a scope resolution operator to point towards printf. There, that should be good. And then a text that says something like hello, exclamation. Let's go with something like my name is. I want to go ahead and add a name. Where my name, in this case, it is going to be, let's say, something like Sensei's Actors. Here's the thing. I might ask for user inputs for getting my names and all that, but I don't want to do something too fancy. Health cannot be defined in introduce as it's already defined in scope. So health can't be defined. Health cannot be defined in introduce. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I could go with something like player underscore health. Oh, is this why I was getting those errors? Let's go with something like player underscore speed. And lastly, let's go with something like player underscore Boolean is active. Okay, this should honestly work. Now let's hit Control S to save the code. Can I magically get all these red squiggly lines disappear? Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna remove that. Let's say my name is something like Sensei Actor, exclamation. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end my UE log with a semicolon. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. Let's go all the way down here. Paste it for my second UE log where I'm gonna go ahead and say my health. So I'm gonna go with something like my health is 100. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a pair of double quotes, say something like my health is, let's go with colon, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add a comma, go with my, excuse me guys, my health variable. My health is health, which is basically 100. And I still don't get it why I have these red underlines here. Remember, Acera health is not a type name. It's not a type name. This is supposed to be a floating point. My health is a float. I require player health to be a float. So what is it that I'm actually kind of missing? Boolean is active, is true. Is it because I gotta remove this extra bajillion 5000s off here and just set this to be point F? That wouldn't make as much sense. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go with a bunch of Control Z's, and then let's go back to my C++ file. In my C++ file, I guess I'm gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go ahead and paste it here. Now, for my third thing, I'm gonna go ahead and say my speed is, I'm gonna go with something like M here that I absolutely forgot to add. Let's go with M here as well. Change health to be speed. My speed is gonna be my speed variable, SPED. Okay, and then once I'm done with speed, I'm gonna go ahead and paste another UE log and say something like, okay, am I active? So I'm gonna ask myself a question. Let's go with something like, am I active? This is gonna be a title case active. Okay, and this is gonna be my Boolean variable of is active. It's either gonna return true or false based on whether or not I'm active. And then lastly, let's go ahead and copy this one more time, paste it down here. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and say something like, Sensei's actor is now awake and ready. I'm thinking it shouldn't be as easy because I gotta add if statements, but this is something really basic because it is my first mini project. I'm gonna be moving on to like different ones while making it a bit more advanced. That said, let's go with something like SEN, SEI. So let's say Sensei actor is now awake, AWAKE, and ready! Exclamation. Okay, perfect. And then once I'm done with this, I'm just gonna basically, let's say hit Control S to save the code, go to my Unreal Engine, hit something like Control Alt F11 to compile the code, and wait for it to compile. While it's compiling, I might actually eat a cucumber. I think I'm kind of starving. Alrighty, okay guys, I feel like the cucumber is much, like, really refreshing. That's how these problem. Well, appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. I gotta keep my OBS safe because of the background noises. That said, I got a syntax error, so missing function header, old style format list. Okay, so C++ line 32. So I have a line 32 is a syntax error. I see. That might be the reason why I'm getting this. So line 32 is right here. Wait, that is my C++ line 32. There isn't supposed to be an error here. Let's go to build. Let's say something like clean solution. I'm gonna go ahead and clean my solution real quick. Okay, let's see. I wonder how long does it take to clean an average solution. Oh, but there we go, it's clean. Okay, now let's go ahead and compile it. Control Alt F11. This should work. Let's see. Okay, let's wait for it to compile real quick. Okay, let's see. How does one even go? Okay, how to break does one even go? You ever have an insanely shitty day? Honestly, I feel like I have it like way more often than I can actually think. That's let me just go and eat another cucumber real quick because I'm kind of starving. Alright guys, I think there's like a few background noises. That said, what am I doing wrong here? So I have a health variable, so I've exposed all three variables to Unreal Engine, a speed variable, a health variable. I create a void function that requires those three variables, and then when I try defining it, it does not let me define because it does not let me add those parameters. What if I went without adding these parameters? I think that might work. So it's a function with no parameters because these parameters are already defined. Let's remove those. Let's hit Control S to save the code, and then I've ended everything up with a semicolon. Now, I'm positive this should work. Let's go back to my Unreal Engine, hit Control Alt F11 real quick to compile the code one more time. This should actually work. I'm kind of positive. Okay, and guys, I feel like finally my muscles have kind of recovered, so I can finally have a workout stream this Saturday. Okay, wait, was it a Tuesday today? There's no way. Alright guys, I actually forgot. Oh god, it was a Tuesday. I should have had a Blender stream. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have a Blender stream next stream. How did I forget that it was a Tuesday? I just realized. Okay, that said, I mean, should I actually switch to? I mean, my thumbnail says that it's Unreal Engine, so I guess I'm gonna be having a Blender stream tomorrow. Okay, let's see. And guys, why is there a lot of background noise? Let me just check that real quick. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, let me go back to my gameplay screen. There we go, guys. There's a lot of background noises. Okay, how long do you think your project will take before it's ready for testing? I don't know if this is a stupid question. I'm a med student. Honestly, I've heard that it's really hard. Actually, I've experienced that it's really hard. That's a good luck with it. I think that I'm working on many projects, so it won't take me nearly as long as it usually does for like a whole project. But I'm working on multiple projects. If you're asking, okay, there we go. I haven't read online here lastly. Okay, and if you're asking like for my main final project by the end of this 250-day series, I think that since I have like 70-ish more days left, I'm going to be spending 20 to 30 more days working on learning as much as I can. And then the last, I think the last 20 days of my series, I'm going to be actually working on building the game because I will specifically need about 20 days to work and make meshes and Blender because I gotta learn rigging and all that stuff as well. So that's kind of tough. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and build solution because why do I have it read online? Is my formatting wrong for my UE log? I'm positive I didn't forget how to UE log, right? Okay, that's it. Let's see. Let's go ahead and exit everything up here. Part of this app has been blocked. Guys, I keep getting a security notice that part of this app is getting blocked. I'm like, why? Part of this app is getting blocked. Some features of msbuild.exe may not work because we cannot confirm who published Epic Games. Well, I keep canceling it. Okay, I guess let's just wait for this whole thing to build because I think it's almost done building. That's it. Might need another cucumber while building. Okay, let's now clean our solution. There we go. Okay, so like 40 more streams. Okay, that's like 80 to 120 hours, man. That's tight. Honestly, it does make sense. Okay, you can do it. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay, that's it. Let me go back to Unreal Engine Control Alt F11 to compile. I hope it actually works because it said that my solution has been cleaned. Okay, all it needs to say is result succeeded. Then my output log should actually display the correct output. Okay, and while that's happening, let me just go and okay, actually, you know what? Speaking of which, while this is actually compiling, I might go ahead and hit Control-C, copy that. Let's grab Claude here real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paste it in Claude in case it did not really compile properly. I'm gonna go with a Control-C here as well, and then get it to Claude here, and then paste that here as well, and say something like, since I keep getting an error. Let's go with something like ER or am I messing up somewhere? Question mark SOMEWHERE. Okay, and then let's hit enter. Now let's open Unreal Engine. Did I get an error? Let's see. Okay, well I'm glad I sent it to Claude. I did get an error. I don't really know why because everything is correct here. It might be that my UE logs is formatting is wrong. Okay, I see what you did and I see the mistake. But wait, before I tell you, I want you to look at your code again. Hint, find the bugs yourself first. Hint 1, look at your UE log syntax, the correct syntax format. Okay, UE log temp. Oh wait, I think the %f, does that, excuse me guys, does that make a difference? Okay, look carefully what you wrote versus the word I showed you here. I mean, Claude basically just added a text function. I prefer going with an f string and then a printf. Hint 2, look at how you're printing variables to print a float UE log, you need a format specifier inside text. Oh, I see. Okay, like printf in regular C++. Look at your begin play, you wrote introduce function, but you're actually calling it. But are you actually calling it? Okay. Also check the boolean is active, missing something to make it show in the editor. I don't want it to be seen in the editor, do I? I don't really want it to be seen in the editor, right? Okay, well, let's go up here real quick and let's see my format specifiers. So I have an f string, a printf, a text. What if I were to remove all of this and just have one? Would this fix anything? Okay, I need another pair of parentheses up here. There, that is gonna be okay. That should potentially fix that one line, and then I'm gonna go with something like a %f format specifier. Let's add a %f format specifier here as well. And I don't think I need a format specifier for this. That said, let's go ahead and boolean is active. Why did I go with a boolean is active here? I gotta go ahead and remove this. There we go. And then should it be like a basic text? Because I know when I get these regular red squiggly lines, it doesn't mean anything much. So I'm gonna try compiling this again. Let's go with Control Alt F11. I don't know if I really want to show my Boolean is active on my actual Unreal's editor. I'd have to. Okay, let's see. Let me just go ahead and open OBS up here again. Okay, I hope this actually works, because okay. How far are you learning C++? Actually, I'd say that I'm pretty good with C++. The really thing is that I moved on to like Unreal Engine, and C++ and Unreal Engine, I won't say it's like really different, but there are different kinds of syntax and functions you might be like familiar with. Because regular C++, I never worry about binding something to like my Unreal Engine or a different kind of game engine in general. Okay, because it was usually already binary. For example, when I used SDL and like just general C++ object-oriented programming. But I think like Unreal Engine is a bit more complex, but it's actually kind of fun. I think I'm, let's say, 50% done with everything. Okay, so it says UE log, unable to recover previous data. Okay, well, I guess let's go ahead and get Claude back up here. Okay, and say something like, right, but I think that I might have forgotten the syntax. Okay, and syntax is the second thing. We gotta actually master syntaxes before we actually try working on any kind of big projects. Okay, let's break it down. On UE underscore log, correct syntax, wrong UE log, right. Why can't I use a f string print f? No underscore in log temp. Oh, I see. Okay, I did not know that. I kind of forgot that part. And no f string print f wrapping it. Printing variables in UE log. That's wrong. Okay, correct should be a %f sign help. %f for float, %d for integer, %s for boolean, %s for strings. I see. Begin play must call the function. Super begin play, I gotta go ahead and call my introduce function. You must call it here. Why is it that I gotta actually call it there? I gotta check that out. Boolean is active, needs you property. Boolean is active. I don't really know. I mean, if I want to display it in my window, sure, I might need it. Else, I don't really think that it might be that necessary. Okay, so I did not really have to make it a virtual function. I guess it's good in that case. Okay, so basically the only thing that I really messed up on was my log temp that did not need any kind of underscores. Oh wow, that actually already fixed majority of my red underlines from up here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and require a %s sign. There we go. Okay, and I think that's about it. So %f for floating point, %f for floating, %s for booleans. Now let's hit Control S to save the code. Move on out to my Unreal Engine. Before that, one more thing. Under begin play, under my super, which is a scope resolution operator to point towards begin play, I'm gonna go ahead and invoke my introduce function. Let's paste that here. Then go with the parentheses to invoke it and do with a semicolon. Now, if I did Control Alt F11, fingers crossed, hopefully it works. That shouldn't be something that we really say when trying to compile a program, because we gotta be like completely sure. Okay, let's wait for it to compile. And why does it take that long to compile? I'm positive it should compile like really fast. Okay, maybe because I gotta generate my projects. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and generate my Visual Studio projects through my file browser. Okay, that's it. I guess while it's compiling, I'm gonna go ahead and get Claude here and just kind of read the code. Okay, I needed a status, and then I needed a blueprint callable. I did that part correct. And then calling it here, adding the basic UE logs. Why is there a question mark here? I do know it's basically like a conditional expression. So boolean is active if text true, else text false. Oh, I see. Okay. So what this basically means, if my boolean is active is set to true, I want my text to be true. Else, I want my text to be false. I mean, okay, where is this messing up? So it says a log temp. So it's 28. Does it say syntax error? Positive it doesn't say syntax error. This might be something that I gotta refresh Unreal Engine for. Okay, before I refresh it though, let's go here. I might actually add my exclamation. So if boolean is true, then I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Okay, let's go with something like question mark. Did it really have to be a question mark? I forgot. Let me actually take a quick little look here, I guess. Okay, let's go ahead and just refresh that. This was, I forgot the syntax for the conditional expression. Let me see the reference. There we go. Okay, so basically what I gotta do is add question mark text. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. If my boolean is true, then I want to display this text on my window. I want to go ahead and display something like true. Okay, let's go with lowercase true. Else, I want to do something else. I'm gonna add a colon and go with another text. If my boolean of is active is not set to true, I want to go ahead and set my text to be something like false. There we go. Okay, that's, I think I see. Conditional expressions does come in handy, honestly. That said, let's go to my header files here. I'm gonna go ahead and add a new property, property, which is gonna be edit anywhere. I want to be able to edit my new property anywhere. Lastly, I want my category to be equal to stats. There, now let's hit Control S to save the code. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control S to save the code here as well. A good thing is that majority of my red squiggly lines have disappeared. The only place that actually does have it is this last line, where I have a warning. I don't think I need anything else if I have all this. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and run the code. Let's hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code real quick. Once I'm done compiling the code, will this compile faster? That took 47 seconds to compile. That's a long time. Because I'm positive that the compilation should happen very fast. Okay, red underlines again. In case that fails, I'm gonna go ahead and remove my printf from here. In case it failed. If it didn't, then we're good. Okay, let's wait for this to compile real quick. I guess I can see it this way as well. Okay, I guess it's still compiling. I have my introduce there. The thing is, I've used UElog. It's been a while. I mostly use G-Engine add-ons for debug since I can debug my stats on my window. It's been a very long time since I've used UElog. Okay, I guess I know what's wrong here. I gotta remove my printf. I thought it would have worked because it usually works with my G-Engines, but I guess G-Engine is not the same as a UElog. I mean, of course, G-Engine is something that we use to display text on our Unreal's engine compared to UElog. I'm going to remove a pair of parentheses from everything here. There we go. Okay, now this should actually work. I don't really... Okay, it should really work, right? Even though I do have a text here, why do I see a red underline up there? So I have a log temp, I have a warning text where I have my text. Let's hit Control S to save the code. It's so annoying. I don't really want to compile it this way. I might actually exit my Unreal Engine here and open it again through my Visual Studio, because sometimes that's what actually works, because while our live coding is still active, we do get some kind of errors when running the program. Okay, it says 0 succeeded, 1 failed. So I'm going to go to builds and let's go ahead and clean solution. And then I'm going to go ahead and rebuild it. So that shouldn't take that long. While I'm doing that, I might actually eat a cucumber real quick because I'm kind of starving. There we go. Okay, I guess it's almost done rebuilding. I think it's like halfway. Okay, wait, never mind. I think it's like 90% done. Almost done rebuilding. There should be about 60-ish lines here to rebuild, right? Okay, let's see. Well, maybe I guess there's got to be just 53 more lines. Okay, so once it's done rebuilding, it should actually compile, because the only place that I do see an error is here. Improperly terminated macro invocation. What does that really mean? I have log temp, I have warning, I have text. I've got everything up here, so is there something that I'm missing? Wait, why do I have 2 pair of parentheses here? Gotta have just 1. 51 succeeded, 1 failed. I think I know why I failed now. This should work, I'm positive this time. Okay, last time it was a syntax error. Now if I run the code, how does it say 1 failed? I still get 1 failed. Let's go with Control A, Control C. I'm gonna go ahead and let's say grab plot up here. Let's go ahead and paste this. Then I'm gonna go to my header files, go with Control A, Control C, copy that. Let's grab plot up here again, go with Shift Enter, paste this, Shift Enter, and say something like say, I think that I messed up again, question mark. Excuse me guys, because I actually need to work on the very basics too. It gets kind of tedious actually. Okay, find it yourself first. Look at these two lines carefully. E-log warning text. Okay, so that's the first text. Second text. Now look at this line that is correct. So these are the lines that I've already written. I gotta see which is correct. Okay, so the thing that I did different here was, wait. Hold up. I have a UE log. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, there we go. These are basically silly mistakes. I gotta close my parentheses here, and then I gotta go ahead and close my parentheses here. That should fix it. Oh, okay, guys, those were the worst ever silly errors that I've made. There we go. Now it's opening my Unreal Engine. This should work. And why does my Windows security keep blocking my Unreal Engine from running? Okay, that's it. At least I actually understood my mistake. Next up, I might actually display it on my, let's go here and open my map first. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go to C/C++ classes. I'm gonna go ahead and drag my class here. I might give my actor a, let's say, static mesh. I might give it a static mesh because I want a mesh to be displayed on my window. There, I'm gonna go ahead and, let's say, add a few different contents to my content browser. Okay, so beside map, I'm gonna drag in a few folders. These are the folders that I created for, let's say, my Blender meshes. Oh, and I wish that I actually had a Blender stream today. Feels kind of bad to not be on schedule. I should keep a track of days. I might actually have a journal or something. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and wait for everything to load real quick or import real quick. Okay, I just realized there are so many things that I've got to import here. Might have to delete my old files to be honest, because my PC's space is filling up. Honestly, might have to upgrade my RAM. Okay, that's it. Let's see. Okay, 3 more things to import. Once it's done importing, I'm going to give my Sarah a kind of body, and then I'm going to run the program. There we go, importing done. So I'm gonna go all the way up here, click my actor class, scroll all the way down till I don't see a static mesh. Under my static mesh, I'm gonna go with something like this one, right? There, I think that should be good, right? No, I think I added someone wrong. Maybe I'm gonna go with something like Lisa again. Let's go with cube 1. Is it really cube 001? How does that make sense? There we go. Okay, my actor is supposed to be static, so that doesn't matter, really. Okay, I'm just gonna click my actor, not the instance, just my mesh. Let's just get it somewhere here, it's fine. There we go. Okay, now that I have my actor here, I'm gonna hit Ctrl-Alt-F11 to compile the code. This should compile relatively faster, and then I'm gonna go ahead and run the program. I go ahead and run the program. Whoa. I did not add any kind of camera, so that's one thing. Let's run the program and then go to my output log. In the output log, I'm gonna scroll all the way down because I'm gonna see warning text. There we go. It says log temp warning. My name is Sensei's actor. My health is that. My speed is that. I am active. Sensei is now active and ready. I see. Wait, I forgot. Let me just go ahead and Windows, get my output log up here again. I'm going to go with something like Windows Shift S, take a picture. Although I don't take much credit for this because I made so many mistakes here. I'm going to copy that. Let's exit the program now. Get plot up here. But at least I understood where I messed up. Okay, let's say something like Sensei. It works! Exclamation. That said, okay, I am not taking credit for this question because I basically got scary. That said, can we do the next mini project now, question mark? Okay, let's see. While we're going to the next mini project, I'm gonna do something that keeps on irritating me, which basically is decreasing the size of my floor. If you guys do not know, I absolutely did not like my floor to be really big. Okay, so let's go ahead and decrease the size. There we go, because I want it to be kind of small. That's gonna make it be less laggy as well. I mean, it's not laggy to begin with, but it looks better if it's small. There we go. Whoa, that is really small. I might make a chess game actually. Okay, let's go ahead and grab that up here. Wait. Before we move on, I need you to look at the screenshot. Look at those yellow output lines. That is your code talking to you. But hey, I hear you. You got tagged up middle, and you know what? That is actually the most honest thing that you have said today, guys. The most honest thing that I've said today is actually kind of crazy. I think that everything that I have been saying is kind of honest. That said, most people would have taken the credit, blah blah. Before Project 2, quick fire round. No hints, no help, just you and your brains. Answer these three questions. What does new property edit anywhere actually do? Well, I'm gonna go with question 1 and say something like new property, UPROPRTY, and then I'm gonna go with something like edit anywhere. Okay, let's say something like it lets me edit that variable, let's say something like in my editor or on my blueprint. Okay, that's it. Next up, let's go with question 2. I'm gonna go with something like question 2. Why do we call super begin play before anything else? Because actually I do not know. Excuse me, guys, because we need to. Okay, let me say something like I actually do not know. ... Okay, next up for question 3. What's the difference between %f and %s in UE-log? That is easy. I just worked on that. Let's say %f is used is a format specifier used for floating point numbers, while the %s is a format specifier used for Boolean variables. There we go. Wait, I shouldn't say numbers. I should say floating data types. Okay, let's go with data TYPES. TYPES. Okay, and this is going to be Boolean data types. Okay, perfect. So I think that that's pretty much it. I actually don't have my notes today to actually make notes on that. That's let's go out of it out here. Question one correct, but let me add to it. Edit anywhere. Let's edit both in blueprint defaults and each instance in the level, but also specify what it does. Edit anywhere, edit in blueprint and level instance, edit defaults only edits blueprint defaults, edit instance only, edits only placed instances and levels. Oh, I see visible anywhere. I can see it but cannot edit it. I might need to write that down, to be honest. I'll take a picture for now and I'll write it after the stream. Because I thought that it edits in the editor, but basically each instance in the level. So edit anywhere helps me edit it in the level, and blueprint defaults edits it in the defaults. Okay. So it edits the blueprint defaults. Edit in blueprint and level instance. Edit in blueprint defaults. Edits in level instances. Okay. Number 2, okay, listen carefully. This is important. Super begin play, the parent class version of begin play first. A actor has its own begin play that sets up. Let me just go ahead and grab OBS up here. There we go. Import engine stuff behind the scene. If you skip super begin play, you break that step. Void a Sarah, which uses scope resolution operator to point towards begin play. Super begin play. A actor's begin play runs first. Introduce, then your code runs. I see. Okay, always call super first or your actor will misbehave. Question 3, almost but not quite right. Float, we got this. String, not Boolean. I think that %s is both for Boolean and string. For Boolean, we use a ternary operator, remember? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, final score 1.3. I think I see. Tell me in your own words, why do we need to convert a Boolean to text when logging? Because the Boolean is a data type and not in a text format. Okay, let's see. Yes, that's exactly it. Boolean is a data type, true or false. The logger does not know how to print that directly, so we convert it into a string first using the ternary operator. Project number 2 is now unlocked, but before we go in, chat, I want you to notice something. That this person got 2 answers wrong, but came back, thought about it, and got it right. That is not a failure, blah blah. Okay, mini project number 2, the component machine. Here's what you're building: a C++ actor that has multiple components attached to it, exposes them to editor, and triggers behavior through a run function. A C++ actor that has multiple components attached to it, okay, it exposes them to the editor, okay, and triggers behavior through a U function. Requirements: create a new C++ actor class called a component machine, attach a U static mesh component as the root component. So, okay, I have learned about this. Attach a U point light component to the mesh. I have not learned about that. Expose both components with U property. Create a U function called activate machine. In activate machine, log these things. So log temp warning machine activated, log temp warning machine is active, true, log temp warning light is valid, true. Call activate mesh and begin play. Hints to get you started: U property, U static mesh component, how to create it in constructor. Okay, mesh component equals to create default sub object, U static mesh component. I mean, I have done that. Root component is going to be equal to mesh component. How to attach light to the mesh? Light component equals to create default sub object. Light component points towards setup attachment. Mesh component. How to check if a component is valid? Mesh component not null PDR. If mesh component is not equal to null p. Oh no, this is a ternary operator. Let me just check if I got any. There we go. Okay, so mesh component not equal to null PDR. Null PDR. Text true. So if this condition is true, text is going to be true. Else text is going to be false. I see. Autosave 125 items in 2 seconds. Okay, how to check if a component is valid? Include that at the top. Component slash point light components is header files. Okay, well, I guess let's do this. The first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is, let's say, increase the size of my floor. Now that I think about it, I think I shouldn't have decreased the size. Maybe I'm going to decrease it from the top a little. I don't think I might need camera for now. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go to something like actor. Let's go ahead and create another class. I'm gonna go ahead and create an actor class where my class is gonna be called something. Let's see, what do I want to call my class? I'm gonna scroll all the way up here to the instructions. I'm gonna call it a component machine. So let's go with something like componentmachine. Okay, and then let's create a class. While the class is being created, I might need an apple real quick. Then let me keep my OBS on as well. Okay, my bad guys, I was kind of muted. Okay, now I'm gonna go down here. Let's go to something like my components and header files. Basically, what I'm gonna go ahead and do here first is that under my protected data members, I'm gonna go ahead and publicalize everything. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create a U property where I want my U property to be something like edit anywhere. Yeah, I want to go ahead and edit my, let's say, point light or attach a static mesh component. So this is going to be a static mesh component. Let's go with triple asterisks. I'm going to go with something like static static mesh. Let's go with something like a mesh and then a component. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and add a category for my static mesh component, which is now going to be something like categories, category, that is going to be equal to Should I go with stats again? I don't really know. I think stats is good. Here's the thing, do I need to include something on top? Maybe a few class declarations for my static mesh component, unless it's already given to me. I gotta include a few files. I definitely need to include a few files, right? Okay, I mean, the only thing that for now I do gotta include is gonna be my component slash okay, let's go up here. So the only thing that I do want to include for the time being is gonna be my component components slash the point light component. Let's go with the point light component component which is basically my point light components header files. And then now that I'm done with my static mesh component, what is the next thing that I might need? Let's read the instructions again. So I'm going to go ahead and attach a ULite component as well. So before I go ahead and attach a ULite component, I'm going to go with something like my uStatic mesh component is going to be represented by a pointer called something like mesh component. Should I go with mesh component component ending with a semicolon? Next up, I'm going to go ahead and add another comment with triple asterisks as usual. This time, I'm going to go with something like my point light component. So I'm going to go with something like point light LIGHT component. There we go. Now, for my point light component, I'm going to go with something like a uProperty, where I want my point light component to be edited anywhere. I want to be able to edit it anywhere. I want my category to be equal to something like stats again, because I think my point light is basically my stats too. Okay, STATS, there we go. And lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add a uPoint light component, which is going to be represented by a pointer called something like a point light component. Okay, and then let's end that with a semicolon. That is going to be a category, category. Okay, and once I'm done with that as well, let's see what's the third thing that I might need. Expose both components. I have exposed them, create a function called activate machine. In activate machine, log these things in. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and create a function. Okay, let's go with something like activate machine function. I might need to give an entire description as to what the function does and does not. Okay, so firstly, I'm gonna go all the way down here and let's say I'm gonna create a void function called something like activate machine, MACHINE, with a pair of parentheses, ending with a semicolon. Before that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say expose my function to my Unreal Engine. So I'm gonna go with something like FUNCTION with a pair of parentheses, where I'm gonna go ahead and add a few parameters. The first parameter is going to be my blueprint callable. Okay, and the second parameter is, let's say, something like categories, CATEGORY, that is going to be equal to, I'm going to go with something like stats. I don't really know where to categorize them. There. Okay, next up, in my stats section, is there anything else that I want to do? Let's see. Maybe nothing else, so I'm going to hit Control H to save the code. I'm going to hop onto my C++ file, and then in my C++ file system structure, I'm going to go ahead and let's say set my pointer of mesh component. I'm going to go with something like mesh component is going to be equal to, I want to create a default sub object. So I'm going to go with something like create a default sub objects template with a pair of anchor braces, which now requires, let's say, it's a template, so it requires my uStatic mesh component in it. So I'm going to go with something like a uStatic mesh component. Okay, with a pair of parentheses, where I'm going to go ahead and let's say add a text that I want to call my uStatic mesh component a mesh component in my Unreal Engine. Okay, perfect. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and just with a semicolon and work on adding my second line. For the next thing that I might need is called activate machine function, and we can play blah blah blah. Okay, create a constructor. Where's the entire instructions? Expose both create a function and activate log. They didn't say anything else. A C++ actually has multiple components attached to it. Okay, well, I haven't got it what all components, but I guess I can just go here. Okay, I guess I'm going to go ahead and add a root component. Let's go with root component is going to be equal to my mesh component. Let's go with something like mesh component, ending with a semicolon. Root component, component. There we go. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and create another default sub object for my light component. So I'm going to go with something like point light component is going to be equal to my create default sub object. Let's go with SUB object with a pair of anchor braces where I'm going to be adding something like viewpoint light component. Okay, and then lastly, let's go with the pair of parentheses. I want to go ahead and call my point light component. Let's say something like light component, LIGHT COMPONENT in my Unreal Engine level, ending with a semicolon. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, paste it here, just a white typos. And then let's go down here. Will I need any kind of root component here? If I don't, then I'm going to go ahead and copy my point light component, paste it here. Okay, I'm apparently going to be giving it an attachment, so I'm going to go with something like setup attachment. Usually, I set up an attachment of my root component unless I want my point light component to be a child of my mesh component, which I exactly do. The instructions were very vague for this. Okay, and then next up, how to check if component is valid. Is the instructions even clear here? Let's read the instructions. Use static as the root component. There we go. Half the instructions wasn't even clear for me to see. Attach a uStatic mesh component as a root component, which I did here, and then attach a uProperty as the attach a uPoint light component to the mesh. Did that. Okay, and then expose both variables, did that, create a function, did that, do that, did all those. Lastly, I'm gonna go ahead, not really lastly, unknown specifier blueprint callable, I spelled it wrong. Blueprint, CALLABLE, callable. And then I'm gonna go ahead and copy my active machine, paste it here, invoke my function, end it with a semicolon. Now, under my function, is there anything else that I want to do? I might want to go ahead and, let's say, paste this there, copy my void function of this, paste it here. Now for my void a component machine that uses scope resolution operator to point towards my activate machines empty function, I'm going to go ahead and define it. There, I'm going to go ahead and add a UE underscore log. This time I will not make any syntax errors or anything. I'm going to require a few parameters. The first parameter is going to be a category, which is going to be log temp. The second is going to be a verbosity, which is going to be warning. The WARNING, okay, perfect. The third is going to be a text where I'm expected to say machine active. So I'm going to go with the parentheses that says something like machine active only if my machine is active. So I have a Boolean variable. Do I really have a Boolean variable? Okay, so create a function called activate machine and activate machine. Log these things. Machine is active. Machine is valid, true. Light is valid, true. Okay, so now I gotta check a few things. The way that you check is mesh component not equal to null PDR, text true, true. Okay, my mesh. Okay, so mesh component, mesh is active, true. So I really might want to go ahead and create another variable. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a triple asterisk again that says something like mesh is valid. I'm going to go with something like mesh is valid. For my mesh is valid, I'm going to go ahead and, let's say, create a uProperty because I want it to be exposed to my Unreal Engine where I want my variable to be edit. anywhere. And lastly, I want my category. Let's go with something like a category to be equal to stats. And then lastly, I'm going to go with something like a Boolean variable, which is going to be B is mesh active. Okay, perfect. ACTIVE, which is initially going to be set to true, ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's say add another comment with triple asterisk that says something like point light component is active. I'm going to go with something like point light component is valid. Let's go with valid, which here is going to be requiring a U property as well because I want to go ahead and expose it to my Unreal Engine. I'm going to be adding a few parameters where the first is going to be edit anywhere. The second is going to be a category. Let's go with a category that is going to be equal to stats. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and create a Boolean variable of is light active. That is initially going to be set to true as well because both my mesh and light are active, or I want them to be active. And then I'm going to hit Control S to save the code. Now in my C++, where I have a text, I'm going to go ahead and say something like mesh machine active. So I'm going to go with something like a text that says MACHINE Okay, here's the thing. I want to go ahead and add a conditional expression here. So before I go ahead and add a text, I honestly might say something like print machine active if a certain condition is met. Okay, so I want to print machine active if my, let's say, Boolean is light active is set to true. If Boolean light active and let's say if Boolean mesh active and Boolean light active twice. Let's copy that. So if my light is active and my mesh is active, I want to display that text. Else, I want to go ahead and display another text. I'm going to go with another text. Let's say something like mesh. Can I write this in a new line? There. I'm going to go with something like mesh is not mesh, machine. MACHINE, machine is machine has not been activated. ACTIVATED. Okay, well I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Do this if this condition is true. Else do that. And then let's end it with a semicolon. Here's an annoying thing. Why do I still have a red underline? Oh, I see. It spans to these things. Excuse me, guys. Okay, why is that a red underline? This is so annoying. Well, I mean, I guess I can just try adding this first to see if it makes a difference. It does make the world of a difference here. How? Okay, I do know that I need to add a text, but I guess I'm gonna see as I go. Okay, next up, I'm gonna add another UE log. Let's go with UE_log with a pair of parentheses, which requires a category that is gonna be locked up as usual, and then a repository, which is gonna be a warning. Lastly, a text that is gonna go ahead and say something like a mesh is valid. I want to go ahead and display this text. Wait, I forgot to add this in a pair of double quotes. Let's go with something like mesh is valid if a certain condition is true. So I'm assuming gotta go with %f. Do I not? Question mark. This variable. If my mesh is active, display that text. Else, display some other text. I'm gonna go with a different text that says something like oh wait, hold up, I think I'm messing something really simple up. Display that, and then I have a %s true false. %s true false. Okay, %s. Oh, I see. Okay, so I need a text here. There we go. So these are two different blocks of sections. This is gonna go ahead and say true. Let's say something like true, while this is gonna say false. If this condition is true, true. Else it is false. Now why do I have a red underline? Operands. Mesh is valid. Text true if this condition is true. Else text is gonna be false. Is that what is correct? If boolean active true, I did it complete opposite way. Oh my gosh, how? Okay, well, let's go ahead and copy that, delete that, go all the way back here. There we go. Okay, so if this condition is true, I want to go ahead and paste this, else I want to go ahead and paste that. Now that I actually figured out the syntax, I can go ahead and like add some manipulations to this as well. Okay, let's go with something like display this text if a certain condition is true. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. If that is true, and I'm gonna go to my light component, copy my light component, and that is true, I want to go ahead and do this. Else, I want to go ahead and add another text, which is going to go ahead and say something like, machine has not been activated. Let's go with something like this and say MACHINE. Okay, MACHINE has not been activated. Okay, well, now let's see where's the syntax error here. I think I got everything correct, to be honest. A format specifier of %. What if I go ahead and add a text here, where I'm going to go ahead and add a parentheses that is going to be absolutely empty. Okay, this works if I actually add a text up there, but if I don't have a text up there, then I don't really think that it's going to really display a thing. I mean, oh well, it does work, right? So I think that's good. I think you do need an empty text up there or empty string. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add another UE log after I end this with a semicolon. This is gonna be a UE log, UE underscore log, which is gonna be having a log temp parameter. My verbosity is gonna be warning. My text is gonna say something like light is valid. Light is valid. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with something like a %S sign. Let's go with a %S sign. The only time I forgot to add a colon here. The only time I want my light to be valid is that if my boolean variable of is light valid variable is set to true, I want to go ahead and set my text to be true. Else, I want to set my text to be false. And then I want to end this with a semicolon. That's right about it. Now let's go ahead and check where I got an error again. Great, every single time. Boolean is like active, true, else false. Oh no, wait a minute. I think it's correct, right? Right? Ah, I spelled warning wrong. WARNING. There we go. Tiny mistakes, gotta pay attention to those. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to my Unreal Engine, hit something like Control Alt F11 to compile the code. Let's wait for the code to compile real quick. Oh wow, I got a small compilation error. Compile module. Missing format specifier. I'm missing a format specifier in line 40. Boolean is light active. Does it point? UE log. Okay. Missing a format specifier. Guys, missing a format specifier is kind of crazy. I added one here. I added one there. %S. Now if I did Control S to save the code. Let's go with Control Alt F11 real quick to compile my code real quick. This should work. There we go. Result succeeded. I'm so glad it succeeded. Okay, well, if I were to go to my content jar here now and go to C/C++ classes and projects, drop this component here. I'm gonna kind of delete my static mesh. There we go. This is my second actor. I'm gonna go with W, get this higher. Wow, why is that so bright? Did I actually summon a light? Oh wow, I actually did. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to my output log. Warning, machine active mesh light is valid, light is valid true. Okay, well, I guess both are true. Now I want to test something else. While my meshes are valid, what if I go to my header files and change one of them to be false? Okay, will this go ahead and change everything, or will it not change everything? Let's see. Should compile relatively sooner. There we go. If I were to run the program, go to output log. Did it seriously say true again? Has my light? Okay, I do see my light up there. Okay, my boolean is light is set to false. If that is true, that is true. I want to display a text. Else I want to display that text. Wait, did it display this text or that text? I did not keep track. True or false? But if I want to run the program again, I might have not seen it correctly. It says machine active. Oh wait, did I hit Control Alt F11 to compile the code? I think I forgot to compile. No wait, I did compile, right? Okay, it says machine active. Well, I guess I'm gonna go with something like Control. Let's copy the whole thing. Let's grab plot here. Let's paste it here. I mean, even though my program works, I think there's a small little error. Okay, there's no, I don't have a syntax error, but it does look like a logic error. Let me see something like say. My output does display on my window, although when I set my light to be false, it still says that light is not false and that my sheen is active. Okay, and then let's see. I think it's gonna be a silly mistake. Okay, hold on. Before I answer your question, I need you to look at something first. Look at your logic. You wrote this. Now answer if boolean light equals to false and boolean mesh equals to true. What does true and false equal? What does true and false equal? And then look at this. You said boolean is light to be false in the header. But then you're checking if the actual component is valid separately. These are two different things. When you have boolean is light, what it means a manual boolean you set. Point light component not equals to null PDR. Actually check if component exists. So the real question is, which one should you actually be checking? Should you be checking your manual boolean or should you be checking the component pointer is null PDR? I think I should be checking if component is null PDR. How do I do that now? Okay, let me think. Okay, so in the instructions, it how to check if component is valid. Mesh component not valid. This is supposed to be a text. Okay, so instead of having this, check here. Instead of having that. Okay, I'm gonna go with something like mesh component not equal to null PDR. If my mesh component is not null PDR, do that. And then I'm gonna go with something like if my point light is not equal to null PDR. If my point light component is not equal to null PDR, do that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and basically just hit Control S to save the code. What if I copy this, paste it there, get this in a brand new line, and then I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. No need for manual checks anymore, I guess. There. And then I'm gonna go here, delete these two things because I will not need them. Hit Control S. If those are true, I do that. Let's hit Control S to save the code. Now, if I were to go ahead and open my Unreal Engine and Control Alt F11 to compile the code, let's see what happens. I think I'm trying to get a basic gist of what's happening here. Okay, let's run the program. Let's go to output log. Okay. Now let's go ahead and tweak something in the program to check if it does work. What can I tweak here? Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and remove a root component from out here. Remove my point light component from out here. Let's hit Control S to save the code. Let's go with Control Alt F11 to compile the code. This should say machine is not active. Okay, let's run the program. Let's go to output log. It still says machine activated. Maybe because I created my use static mesh component. Let's go with Control Z, Control Z. What if I don't have either one of those? Oops, Control C and then delete. Now let's hit Control S to save the code. Let's go with something like Control Alt F11 to compile the code. This should work. Okay, no mesh created. Okay, mesh has not been activated. Mesh is valid false, light is valid false. Okay, perfect, it does work. There we go, now I can go ahead and paste that up here. Let's hit Control S. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab this up here again, run the code one more time. Output log. Whoops, I'm gonna hit Control Alt F11 first. Okay, I guess waiting for it to compile. Once it's done compiling, I'm gonna go to output log. There we go. Let's go with Control Alt. Actually, not Control Alt, Windows Shift S. Okay, let's take a picture real quick. There we go. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and exit this now. Let's go ahead and grab plot up here. Paste it. Say something like sensei. I see what you mean now! Exclamation. It works as well. Okay, let's send it. Okay, look at that. Project to complete at the same time. You figured it out yourself. I mean, not really. Okay, but wait, quick question. Before Project 3, tell me in one sentence, what is the difference between manual versus null PDR check? Manual is basically what the variable is set to, versus null PDR check is set to worse. In the other hand, null PDR check is to see if that certain thing exists, or is it, or does it not exist? Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and send this text now. Let's see. Yes, that's exactly it. Okay, manual check, the component still exists. You're just lying to yourself. This actually checks if the component was created in memory. This is true. That means Project 3 is not unlocked. Mini Project 3, the data dashboard. I actually might work on this next stream. This stream I feel like until letting go, create a new C++ actor called A-Dash, and I've only worked on this next stream. I won't really say a lot that I'm going to exit this stream and all that stuff. Just so I don't mess the chat up and all that. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and save everything here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and exit that. I'm going to hit Control S, Control S, Control S, Control S. And then let me go ahead and move on to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. Let me get in the center of my screen. I think I am. I forgot I'm not streaming vertically. Okay, so that's basically pretty much it for the stream. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like, helps my algorithms, and make you smile, subscribing, like, share, and top. That's I just start multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube. I will start multi-streaming on TikTok and Instagram as well. So if you guys do enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me. The link is going to be in the description. You guys can get access to my socials by typing exclamation socials on the chat or by going through my bio. Also, make sure to join my Discord server. That's where I usually talk to you guys, chat with you guys, have general conversations. The link is going to be in the description. You guys can get access to the link through my bio, through the link in the description, or by typing exclamation Discord on chat. That's let me know how's the quality of the stream. Let me actually check it out. I don't really think it makes that big of a difference, to be honest. Do I have like wait, is that speed? Let me check the quality real quick. Highest picture quality. I tried going to like 2080 or 2080p or something, but I think this is like pretty much it for the quality. That's the reason like I did not stream vertically last stream and this stream because I want to see like the difference between streaming just streaming either vertically or vertically and horizontally. That makes any sense. That said, I'll catch you guys next live stream or video. Peace.